Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and I have this wonderful team that God has provided me to manage. And so I always like to introduce them because I can't do this without them. So first off is my faithful assistant, Faith, who's basically been my assistant since the day she was born. Her dad brought her to church. I think she was 3 weeks old, and he would work the soundboard with one hand and hold her with the other hand. And so uh, we just sort of did that for a while. And then when she was able to crawl, he would let go of her, and she just crawl right up there. It was like really funny because he just set her down and go. She would run up on there, crawl up on the stage. And I just left her there because I had a portable mic. So it was just as easy to step over her. She acted like she owned the place and belonged up there. So we let her stay. And I would put her on the podium when we do announcements, and everybody would pay more attention to the announcements, I'm pretty sure. But as she grew up, she started doing the affirmation cards and ushering at the very end there. We used to hand out affirmation cards every week. And she grew up like 6 blocks from my house. Her husband, her dad was a tow truck driver, and he would do out-of-town tows, and he would drop the girls at my house. And I always have projects to do at my house. I don't know what it is about me, but I've always got a project, right? Face like, yes, she does. But I got to see her work. So when she said at 14 and a half she wanted a real job instead of nannying and babysitting, I hired her for my ozone business. And so we've been together all this time since then. And then when the pandemic struck, we decided to go live here. And I asked her if she would be my ministerial assistant, and she said yes. So she is the person behind the scenes, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. You pull back the curtain and there's Faith. When you say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us, let us know that you're here. She's the one that answers you as me. And I go back and look just to make sure there's nothing I need to answer. But I've only had to do that twice in 4 years. So it's a rare occurrence because she does know me as well as I know myself, or maybe even better at times. The joke between us is that we have one brain between us. So it's pretty funny because we fill in for each other all the time. Anyway, when we're in a facility, I can look out and see the shining faces beaming back at me. Here I get a number. I don't even get names. So we really like it if you would say hi, hello, good morning, and just let us know you were here. And if you stop by later, say hello. Just let us know. Okay. We like to know if we have an audience. All right. Well, I know I have an audience because I get a number, but I mean like who our audience is. So thank you for being here, Faith. Oh, yeah. And also, she is our soloist. And today we're going to be doing Today I Choose by Karen Drucker. I remembered. Only because it's choice is the topic. It's like I looked at it and went, oh, yeah, choice. But anyway, she will be our soloist today, and she'll be singing that song. So thank you so much for being here for me, for all of us, Faith. We couldn't do this without you. Love you. All right. And then there is my partner in crime, the wise and powerful Oz, who is our practitioner of the day. He is my first baby practitioner, meaning he took all of his practitioner training with me, except for one class. But I don't even think that was a practitioner training class. That was a prep class.
Mine 4. They only
that was a prep class.
Mile High.
But he took all of his training with me and became a licensed practitioner in our church, and then became our board president. And he was our board president for 7 or 8 years, and then moved to Florida. So we lost the ability to have him be practitioner of the day. So when we went live for the pandemic, I said, hey, Oz, would you be willing to be practitioner of the day for us? And he said yes. So here he is. Almost every Sunday, he is our practitioner of the day. So that means that he does the invocation, the benediction, and he's available at the end for our 1-minute miracles. So thank you so much, Oz. We couldn't do this without you. I love you. All right. And then I like to introduce our adjunct music team. They don't appear on camera, but they have provided us with music, which we couldn't have a real Sunday service without. I could sit here and talk for an hour, but I'm pretty sure nobody would want that. So I think it's kind of boring to just listen to somebody talk for a whole hour. I like the idea that we open your heart with music, and then that opens your mind, and then you're ready for the talk. So We couldn't do this without Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, who asked us to do her music early on, and Karen Drucker, who gifted us with her entire collection of CDs at the time, which was 20, which is a lot. So, and gave us karaoke files and songbooks so we'd have the words. I mean, she really went above and beyond. They don't appear on camera, but we use their music every Sunday. And then Albertina Giuffre, better known as Tina, was our singer from 2000 to, I don't even know when she stopped. I think it was like 2021, something like that. It was after the pandemic, I know, but she needed to take care of some things in her personal life. And now she appears when we have all kinds of, celebrations, special celebrations. She likes to call it the crying season. Faith, all of a sudden, I just had a thought. Did you tag Maureen? Yeah, you did. Thank you. And so Tina appears for our special events, and so she's part of our music team. So I always like to introduce those people because I really can't do this without them. So thank you to all of you. And of course, I couldn't do this without you either. Luckily, when you're here, I have someone to talk to, and I don't feel like I'm sitting here talking to myself. So thank you also for being here. All right. There is a watch party button. If you click on that, you can invite all your friends to see what kind of service they can expect, and you can answer any questions they might have, because it's a private chat, so you won't be disturbing anybody. So click on that watch party button and invite all your friends. All right. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
The presence of God is always right here, right now, wherever and whenever we are. In me as me, in you as you, through us, around us, upholding us, creating us anew in every moment. For God, as we conceive of it, is one. And if it is one, it must be infinite and eternal and always, always right here, right now. I know the presence of God moves through us in this service, and I know that the presence of God moves through us in every moment of our life. And I give thanks for that presence, and I acknowledge its blessings and give thanks. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. And I forgot to tell you what our topic is. We're doing a series based on my book, 10 Weeks on the Road to Prosperity. And today is stop 5, which is choice. So anyway, this next song is one of Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's that she wrote when she was in practitioner training We are all one, and it's a great way for us to remember how connected we are to all of life.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I have seen, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
So interesting. I'm watching yes, we are all one in it. But I'm watching my picture down here below, and because of what I'm wearing, the stripes, it's like dancing around. I feel like I'm doing psychedelic drugs or something. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, oh goodness. If you're here, please say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see the shiny faces beaming back at me. But here I get a number. I don't even get names. So please say hi, good morning, hello, however you want to greet us. If you stop by later, just say hello. Faith will answer you as me, but you will get an answer. All right. And if you like something that you hear, whether that's something I say or Faith sings or Oz prays, use that like button. And if you love something, please send us hearts. We love to get love. I can't make a perfect heart this morning. I don't know. There we go. And if you feel like something that I say is very powerful, please use that wow button. It lets me know that I'm on track. I always like to know that what I'm saying has a real effect on people. So that feedback is very important to me. Without further ado, here is Faith singing Today I Choose by Karen Drucker.
Be nice. What do I want my day to be? I choose. What do I want to feel today? I choose. What do I want to say today? I choose. I choose, I choose, I choose. I choose. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, grateful today. I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, grateful today. I choose to be happy, so happy today. I choose to be happy, happy. Today, I choose to be peaceful, so peaceful. Today, I choose to be peaceful, peaceful. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. Today, I choose to be loving, so loving. Today, I choose to be loving, loving. Today, I choose to be joyful, so joyful. Today, I choose to be joyful, joyful. Today, I choose. Today, I choose. Today, I choose. Today, I choose. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. It's all up to me. Today, I choose to be thankful, so thankful. Today, I choose to be thankful, thankful. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful. Today, I choose to be grateful, grateful. To be grateful, grateful. To be grateful, grateful. I am grateful, grateful.
Thank you, Faith. For those of you who don't know, I'm clapping silently because I have a chihuahua on my lap and she gets nerdled out when I clap loud. Thank you, darling. Okay, like I said, we are doing a series based on my book, 10 Weeks on the Road to Prosperity, and today is week 5. And it's all about choice. But let me go back, just do a quick recap of the program for those of you who may just be tuning in, but also as a reminder to everybody to keep doing all your spiritual practices. Each week there is a spiritual practice that I present, and it's all based on a spiritual bank account. Okay. So in the beginning, we did an inventory of what all of our income was. And then before we did our expenses, we said, okay, 10% to God, 10% to ourselves. Nothing we spend on anybody else, nothing we spend on shared vacations. It has to be spent on us for fun. Okay. Because what we tend to do is we tend to pay off the expenses and the bills and say, someday when I have the money, I'm going to fill in the blank. So we give ourselves that 10%. We've been stepping up to tithing to ourselves and to God by doing it 1% each week. So the first week we did 1%, the second week we did 2%, the third week we did 3%, the fourth week we did 4%, and now we're at 5%. And I have received feedback from people who are telling me that they do not miss that money. And that's really important for you to recognize, because when we do get to 10%, it'll be the same way. One of the things that people have a hesitancy about tithing is that they say that they can't afford it. And so this is a program that teaches you how to do it as a step up so that you realize you do have the money to do it. Okay. Excuse me. And I would prefer, of course, that you tithe to us, but if you have somewhere else that your spiritual source comes from, by all means, tithe to that. But again, we prefer if you would tithe to us, but whatever you do the tithing, because it invokes the law of circulation, which is so important in our lives. Like the first week I did an exercise with us where we took in a breath, held it, and we took in another breath and we held it, and we took in another breath and we held it. And at some point you can't do that, right? you have to release that breath in order to be able to take another breath. So that's the way the law of circulation works. We're going to talk a lot about spiritual laws through this process. But how the spiritual bank account works is each time that you tithe, each time you come to church on Sunday, each time that you do your spiritual practice, you're giving yourself money in this journal called a spiritual bank account. And I know when we first started out and that inventory was really heavy on expenses and probably not as heavy on the income, I knew there was a discrepancy, and this is how we're going to get to it. Because the first week I talked about gratitude, and I said, you know, gratitude is like a magnet that attracts your good to you. So we did a daily practice of gratitude, for which we, in our journal, in our spreadsheet, or however you chose to do it, in our spiritual bank account, you got $100 for every time you did a gratitude step. So in the morning you get up and you say, I am so grateful for this day, $100. When you take your gratitude breaks during the day and you list off 3 things that you're grateful for, that's $300. Then at night before you go to bed, the very last thing you do before you turn your lights off and close your eyes is list 10 things that you're grateful for. $1,000. And that is every day. So we've been doing it for 5 weeks. You should have accumulated quite a bit in your spiritual bank account. The second week was, I'm getting lost in some of this. The second week was imagination. And really that's what a lot of this is based on, because if you go to a movie, for example, and it's a love story or it's a tragic story or something like that, you automatically cry. And it's because even though you know it's fiction, or that it might be even fact, but it's not happening to you, your body and your mind do not know the difference between fact and fiction. And so your mind responds the exact same way it would as if it was happening to you, you see? And so this spiritual bank account is our way of imagining ourselves with a large bank account, right? And the practice that week was, I believe, visualization. And that's been utilized for a very long time by successful business people and professional athletes. And you visualize the end result of what you want to see, because, you know, prosperity is different for every person. My prosperity is not going to be the same as your prosperity. So we have a working definition of prosperity as thriving, not just surviving. Okay. So you visualize what your prosperity is going to look like at the very end of this. Okay. And each time you did your visualizations, if you did it once a day, you've got $1,000. If you did it 3 times a day, you got $3,000 in your spiritual bank account, right? And then the third week was, let me look here and see if I can figure it out here. Oh, attachment and involvement. And for that one, we did affirmations. And so each time you did your affirmations, you would give yourself $100 for each affirmation. So if you did it 100 times, you got $10,000 in your spiritual bank account, right? So by this time, you have accumulated all of this money in your spiritual bank account. And by the 4th week, we were spending it. So now we were taking all that money from the spiritual bank account, writing a check, actually making copies of checks and writing a check. If you wanted to pay off something, you would have a check on your refrigerator paying off that entire amount. If you were trying to manifest something, like one person in my congregation did, she wanted a Mini Cooper. And so she started the process by writing a check for the full amount of the Mini Cooper that she wanted to that dealership. And she put a picture of the exact color and the exact model that she wanted. By a month after she started doing that, she manifested that exact Mini Cooper. And so we're utilizing our imagination to spend that money in a way that benefits us. Okay. And again, your mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. So you are creating a reality that your mind can accept as real. And so we did affirmations, we did visualization, and we did gratitude work. And then last week, we actually spent the money, and every time we went by it and saw it, we gave ourselves $100. So we were already accumulating more. Plus, you're doing your gratitude work all this time, you're doing your affirmations all this time, and you're doing your visualizations all this time. So you're still giving yourself more money in your spiritual bank account. You get $100 for attending church each week. If you tithe a 1%, you got $100. If you tithe 2%, you got $200. If you tithe 3%, you got $300. And when you tithe 4%, you got $400. Now today you're going to give yourself $500, right? And $100 for attending church. Okay. So that's kind of a recap. If you want to learn more about the various topics, go to YouTube, and all of the talks are on there. And so you'll be able to watch 1 through 4. Today I want to talk about choice, and this has to do with values. Let me get to that here. And I know you probably can't see it. I asked last week if you wanted it, you could DM me and I would send this to you. But let me introduce values to you. So our choices are based on our values, right? If I choose this over that, that means this has a higher value to me than that does. And when our organization needed a refresh, what we did is we hired this consulting company who put out a questionnaire of the values and had staff at each church, staff at home office, board members at each church, board members at home office, practitioners and ministers. And everybody was to fill out what they thought was their top 10 values. And when it came back, the consulting firm said, no wonder you don't have a vehicle, you don't have a driver, and you don't have a navigator, because nobody could agree on those 10 core values. So what we did instead was instead of doing it by consensus, which was what we were hoping for, we did it by popularity. So we took the top 10 popular values, and those became the values of the organization. I apologize, I don't have them in front of me, but those were the guiding light for our organization to say, okay, this is what we value as an organization, and so every decision we make, we are going to measure it against those values, right? So we did it in our church, and we did it very similarly because, again, consensus, although we only had, I think 56 people or something like that, it was hard to reach consensus there too. With the organization, we had like millions. It was like, no way all those people are going to come to consensus on what the exact 10 core values are. So in our church, we only had 8 that were popular enough for us to consider those. And let me, I got to pull up ours. I know spirituality was our top one. And we used to have it in the back of the room. And so everybody could see what our values were. And all of those values that we selected were all very spiritual kind of values. The one that was missing, always the one that was missing, was prosperity. And it was interesting because we lost our facility due to a lack of money. So that was in 2012. And so I took this class. I took this PhD program. Well, I tried to take it. It was an online PhD program that Dr. Mark Vieira graduated from in North Hollywood. But they couldn't provide me with product. I would get, the first time I got 4 or 5 classes worth, and they were supposed to do that every single month. But they would after that first one, they would give me a class every 3 months. It was going to take me forever. And, it's hard to get the momentum going once that starts happening. So I eventually just dropped out. But during the time that I was actively enrolled in the PhD program, there was a class that was offered only at the campus. So I flew out for 6 weeks to North Hollywood and took this class, and it was called Master Values. And what was interesting about that class was, so we listed out our values, and then they had us reorganize our values each week. That's why you had to do it in person. We reorganized our values each week. And then we would report to the class what changed in our lives when we reorganized those values. So we would put one as the top priority, and then we would see what changes happened to us during that week, and we would report back what the changes were, right? And so it was fascinating to notice, not only in my life, but in the lives of all the students, what would happen when we would reorganize those values. See, I thought when we did this exercise for the organization, I thought that meant that those are our core values and they stay in the same position forever, you know? And what I learned out of the Master Values class was that if you want to work on a specific topic or a specific area of your life, you want to make sure that's number one on the list. You can always go back and reorganize it later, but you want it. So if you're working on this program, if you're working on prosperity, you want to make sure prosperity is up at the top. So right now I'm going to show this list. I'm going to read them to you because I know you can't always see them the way you would like to. But here are the list of values. Oh, I can't get to this. All right, hang on. I gotta put this up there first. I don't have enough of a screen when it's down below to share. There we go. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and read these, and I want you to just jot down the 10 that really speak to you, and then we will put them in order of importance. So get a piece of paper and a pen. I'll give you a second to do that. And hopefully you have that now. Okay, I'm going to start. Abundance, acceptance, accountability, achievement, advancement, adventure, advocacy, ambition, appreciation, attractiveness, autonomy, balance, being the best, benevolence, boldness, brilliance, calmness, caring, challenge, charity, cheerfulness, cleverness, community, commitment, compassion, cooperation, collaboration, consistency, contribution, creativity, credibility, curiosity. You'll notice that I'm going kind of fast because I don't want you to stop and think about it. I want you to write down what jumps out at you. Daring, decisiveness, dedication, dependability, diversity, empathy, encouragement, enthusiasm, ethics, excellence, expressiveness, fairness, family, friendships, flexibility, freedom, fun, generosity, grace, growth, flexibility, happiness, health, honesty, humility, humor, inclusiveness, independence, individuality, innovation, inspiration, intelligence. Intuition, joy, kindness, knowledge, leadership, learning, love, loyalty, making a difference, mindfulness, motivation, optimism, open-mindedness, originality, passion, performance, personal development, proactive, professionalism, quality, recognition, risk-taking, safety, security, service, spirituality, stability, peace, perfection, playfulness, popularity, power. I just noticed these are not in alphabetical order. Preparedness, proactivity, professionalism, punctuality, recognition, relationships, reliability, resilience, resourcefulness, responsibility, responsiveness, security, self-control, selflessness, simplicity, stability, success, teamwork, thankfulness, thoughtfulness, traditionalism, trustworthiness, understanding, uniqueness, usefulness, versatility, vision, warmth, wealth, well-being, wisdom, and zeal. I'm going to leave these up on the screen just for a second. And so I want you to just kind of look at your list here. Hopefully you've got all 10 that are the most important to you. And the reason I did it kind of quickly is I don't want you to think about it, because I don't want you to pick values that you think you're supposed to have or that someone in your life may want you to have. I wanted it to be kind of a gut reaction to the words so that you could write down the 10 that stood out to you. And not really having any definition of them, just what words stood out to you. Now I'd like you to take your list of 10 and assign a value to them, 1 through 10. Which is the most important? That's going to be 1. Which is the least important on that list is going to be 10. So do that right now. I guess I have to stop sharing. If anyone needs any more time, just let me know in the comments. Okay, I'm going to give you just another minute, and then we're going to move on. Okay, so now you should have them organized by their importance to you. You're going to give yourself $1,000 for completing this exercise in your spiritual bank account. And then every time you notice a change from how they're organized right now, you're going to give yourself $100 every day. So here's the thing. If prosperity was not on your list, I want you to ask yourself why. There's no right or wrong here. I'm just saying, ask yourself why prosperity was not on your list. And if it was not at the top, why? What is the reason for you not picking prosperity at the top of your list? And let me just suggest to you that if prosperity is not on your list, that you remove one and put prosperity on there. You can always go back and add that one later. But for the purposes of this program, you're going to want to make sure that prosperity is on your list. And if prosperity is on your list, but it's not at the top, it's not the number 1, I'm going to ask that you put it as number 1 just for this program. And I want you to notice the changes that happen. So here's the thing. If you say you value prosperity, but it's not on your list, that was not the one that you chose, how are you ever going to bring prosperity into your life? Because your choices, your decisions are based on what your values are, not what you say they are, but what they actually are. And so anytime you're looking in an area that you may not have had the best results with, and then that could be a relationship, it could be health, it could be any one of those topics. If you look at where that's not been successful for you, look and see what values you chose. Because the truth is, unless those are values that you actually chose, you're not going to gain any momentum in that area, because again, the mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. So you've now declared that these 10 are your values. And if relationships are not on there, or love is not on there, or, you know, something that has to do with relationships is not on there, and you're seeking a relationship, trust me, that's not coming, because it is not, you're not going to make choices and decisions that are going to support that value in your life if it's not on your list. Same thing with health. If you had chosen ones that were for health, if you hadn't chosen any of those and you're working on your health, maybe you're going to the gym every day or whatever, it's not going to result in what you want it to look like, because you haven't chosen that for your value. Does that make sense? So this week, I want you to keep up with your gratitude work, keep up with your affirmations, keep up with your visualization, and keep writing, keep watching your check that's sitting. I put it not only on the refrigerator, but in my car and in my bedroom when I did this, because the more times I look at it, the more it trains my subjective mind that this is the reality, this is the truth. And so I put it everywhere I could think of that I would be in, including the bathroom. I had one up in the bathroom as well. So if it's something you want to buy, you're going to have a picture of it with the check. If it's an investment you want to invest in, you're going to write the check to that investment and perhaps post up a picture of like how that stock is doing, or how that investment fund is doing, whatever. If you're trying to pay off bills, just write those checks for the bills. You have a list of what your bills are. That one's paid off. And every time it comes into your subconscious mind, or every time it comes to your conscious mind, I should say, that you owe this money, you're like, nope, I got it covered, right? Okay. And the universe, God, however you want to say it, is now working on that, because we set our intention that one week. We set an intention for, this is what I want to see, hear, feel, however you do. Excuse me. So you're going to keep walking by and looking at that. If one of your goals has been achieved, write a check for another one out of your spiritual bank account. It's very important that we keep this process going so that our subjective mind gets trained to believe that this is actually happening, that this is our reality. And of course, this week, I'd like you to notice what changes happen in your life as a result of choosing your values and organizing them. All right? Are you ready to take that on this week? Let's have a prayer. Right now, I just turn my awareness to the infinite power, the infinite presence of God, to that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how perfect, how beautiful, how wonderful God really is. And I know that that is where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through all, because it flows through me as well. I know that same truth to be so for this team that God has provided us, for Faith and for Tina and for Karen and for Elaine and Oz and Tina. I know that same ancient wisdom of the ages flows through them, leading them, guiding them in every thought, every action, every deed. I know that same truth to be so for anyone who's listening, whether that's in real time or later on, because that same ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through all of life flows through each of us. Right now, I claim that as our reality. I pull back the veil and I reveal God's truth, God's flow through those names that is in the ministry of prayer today. So I bless this week. I know that everything that we do that contributes to our spiritual growth teaches us, and we grow from it, and we begin to develop an attitude of gratitude and a prosperous life. That as we do our spiritual practices and as we use our spiritual bank account, as we do all of this work, we create an opening through which God's prosperity can flow into us as it flows through us. So I bless every name that's in the ministry of prayer today with that same truth. Because I know whatever challenge they are experiencing, God is the answer. And I pull back the veil and reveal that truth here and now as I claim it for them in their name as good and very good. I bless it. I give thanks that it's done. My heart fills with gratitude to be of service in this way. And I just let it be. And so it is. Amen.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirits on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world.
Thank you, Faith. This is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to share your gratitude for that which you have experienced in the physical realm, and for that which you may have already created in the mind of God, but have not yet experienced in the physical realm. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to go with me to www.oasiscsl.org, and about 2/3 down the page say an offering affirmation with us, and then directly under that is a contribute now. So I just want to talk briefly about what the contribution is about. Number one, this is how you work the program. If you're not tithing to us, tithe to somebody, but today would be 5%. So you would go to this contribute now button and do the 5%. Okay, so we aren't in a facility, so there isn't things like rent and utilities and all of those things that normally occur as expenses when you have a facility. But we still have expenses for marketing because our vision is a healed world, and I mean globally. We have people from Great Britain, England. We have the UK, I guess, however you want to call it. The Netherlands or Holland. We have people from Germany. We have people from the Philippines, India, and Sri Lanka. And they all tune in. Sometimes later, because of the time difference. But we have that audience already. But we need to make sure that we're covering every country that we can. And that costs money, unfortunately. And our mission is to heal the world one person at a time. So when you hit that contribute now button, what you're contributing to is our mission that leads us to our vision. So right now, whether it's in real time or later on, please go with me now to www.oasiscsl.org and say the offering affirmation with me. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. Hit that contribute now button and help us reach our vision through our mission. All right. We have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast, which we like to call the God Squad. And I love the imagery of the God Squad because I love the imagery of them walking in and taking charge, right? So we've been calling them the God Squad since, oh gosh, like 2000. And I love that imagery. So anyway, they serve our church in 3 ways. The first way is that if you would like prayer for something, you can put it in the comments section and they will pray every day on those requests for a week. If you don't want it to be public, you can DM Faith and she will make sure the God Squad gets the prayer request. And the second way that they serve our church is by doing sessions for spiritual guidance by appointment for a fee. Now, I don't get involved in how you pay for it. They have their own business. Some use PayPal, some Zelle, some I don't know, Cash App, Venmo. They all use different things, and I don't get involved in any of that. But what you will do is you will reach out to them by chat, messenger, however you want to call it, and let them know that you would like a session for spiritual guidance, and they will let you know how to pay for it. And once it's paid for and your appointment's set, they will reach out to you by video chat at the appointed time. And then we have the 1 Minute Miracle. Or we have the practitioner of the day, I should say. Oz is serving as our practitioner of the day. He invokes, he benedicts, and at the very end, he's available for what we call our 1 Minute Miracle. This is not a time for counseling, but it is a time where you can share with him whatever you're experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. So those are the 3 ways that they support our church. All right, so now we have a couple of people. Brooks and Bailey is a couple of women who make some really incredible jewelry, some of which is mala beads, and they have necklaces and bracelets. But all the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, which I happen to feel is a very worthy cause. And you can reach these ladies at brooksandbailey0307@gmail.com, or they have a Facebook page. And whenever they have a table at any event, I try to reshare that for them because I do want to support those who support us. They sent me this wonderful mala bead necklace that's amethyst, which is a $60 necklace. They have all kinds of gemstones, $30 and up on the necklaces. And I believe, if I remember right, I think the bracelets are like 15 to 20. They may be 25. I don't remember. But this is a great way to do your affirmations. You move, the Buddhists and the Hindus move 1 bead at a time as they do their chants. And so I say, use them for your affirmations. There's 108 beads on the necklace and there's 54 on the bracelet. So you would just use the bracelet twice a day. But it's a great way to know that you got your 100 in. All right. And then we have Angel Renee has an Etsy store with intention candles and an intention tea bag that you put into your bath water. All of these are infused with aromatic herbs that help you focus on your intention. So since this program is all about intention, I suggest you go and get one of these, whichever one. I'm a bath person, so I like the tea bag. But I also like candles when I'm taking my bath, but that's where I do a lot of my spiritual work, is in the bathtub. So I get that. All right. And then we have Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's website. She, you'll see it there on the screen, and we also have it in the comments. She, for some reason, cannot update her website to show how to pay. So she travels around the country singing, and she always has her CDs in the trunk of her car. So you reach out to her by email, tell her what CD you would like, and she will tell you how to pay for it. You pay for it, and she sends it out right away. She's very good about that. The other one is Karen Drucker. And Karen Drucker's website does work. You can buy it by the song, by the CD, by the karaoke file. She has songbooks. Some of the songbook contents have American Sign Language if you wanted to learn how to sign that song. And so you can pay for it right then and there. What was today's song from? What CD?
Joy in Our Hearts.
Joy in Our Hearts. So if you enjoyed the song today, which I suggest is an excellent song. I like all of Karen Drucker's music, obviously. She has a lot of chants. And that's a really great way, like an affirmation, to get it stuck in your brain and create a reality from it. So today was Today I Choose, and from Joy in Our Hearts. So definitely check these two women out and buy something from them. We like to support those who support us. And these two women obviously really support us. So we really want you to go ahead and check them out and see if there's something you would like to buy. All right. Then also check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. We know it's out of date. We're working on it. I've had way too many deaths in my life the last, basically 2 years. I've lost so many people. I can't even, I've lost count. I think it's up to 7 really significant people in my life. So I have been remiss in getting things done. I've been in my grieving process and hiding out in my bed. And so that work hasn't gotten done. But in the meantime, you can go there and see, we have events posted so you can see what your spiritual family is. We do have some audio and video sermons up there. In the meantime, until we can get it updated, you can go to YouTube for the videos for the last 4 years and SoundCloud for the audio files from years prior. And you can find those under S. Tucker. So anyway, all right. So I'm going to turn this over to Oz now. If he's there, I don't see him. Are you there, Oz?
I'm here.
Okay.
And I know that right here, right now, God's presence is in us, as us, and all around us, supporting and creating us as it goes. For now and into the future, I know that God's blessings are all around us, and I give great thanks that this is so. And I let it be. And so it is.
And so it is. I want to thank all of you for being here today. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're really blessed that you decided to stay with us instead. I want to invite you to be here next week and every week, but specifically the next 5 weeks at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time as we complete this series, 10 weeks on the road to prosperity. We have 5 more weeks. And I know you're going to love it, because all of these things are going to improve your life. And I really feel like we would love to see you. We miss you when you're not around. So please join us next week and every week at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. In the meantime, stay safe. We love you. Bye.